Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming at you with a recent finds, recent buys video. Yeah, I mean, just for financial reasons and obviously due to location, it's not always easy to get records up to my location, but recently I made a trip to Kingston for medical reasons for my son. He's all good. I had to do with some broken fingers, but it's all good. Didn't need a cast or anything like that. So while we went down to go get his hand checked out, I ended up getting some records at some different record stores and thrift shops along the way. So that's what this video is going to be, is just to go over my purchases. This is also going to be a video that is going to take a look at some Amazon purchases that I've made as well. For Father's Day and my birthday and stuff like that. My mom had given me some Amazon gift cards, and so I bought some records with them, and they managed to come up to my location, no problem. A little bit of shipping on top of that, but yeah, here we go. I've got about 15 or so records to show. And then in the coming weeks, there's going to be some video drops. I'm going to be on summer vacation, so what you're going to be seeing in the coming weeks are videos that I've made ahead of time, and they're going to go over some various different things. All right, so here we go. This one here I was looking forward to. Canadian rock band from the 1990s. I remember using part of this, I had this on CD, and I remember using this as part of a high school project, as part of a media studies commercial project. Svengali, self-titled, really good album here. Under the Influence and Love Don't Live Here Anymore were the two big tracks that were on this. But yeah, no, this is just a straight up rock, bordering on metal, but rock, you know. I'm not saying hair metal bands or anything like that, but roughly around that particular time. So, I mean, side A is amazing. Under the Influence, Tie-Dyed Skies, Sweet Little Gypsy and My Garden Freaks, and Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Those are all amazing tunes. So if you haven't checked out Svengali, definitely give them a go. I was excited for that one. Next, those of you that have been following my channel for quite some time, you know that I'm a huge Les Claypool and Primus fan. So the next album I purchased on Amazon was Primus and the Chocolate Factory, basically with the Fungi ensemble. Basically, if you are not familiar with this, and it's got a nice shiny cover to it and all that kind of stuff. Basically, Primus redid the entire Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory soundtrack, I believe from the original, was it 1971 or 73? Anyway, I can't remember, movie. And they do basically everything from start to finish. This one's a little tricky just because how bright it is, but Candyman, Golden Ticket, Pure Imagination. They do all of the Oompa Loompa songs, so Oompa Augustus, Oompa Violet, Veronica, and Oompa TV, so that's all there. They also do a crazy Semi-Wondrous Boat Ride, which is that creepy boat ride song from towards the end of the movie there when they're in the factory itself. So yes, huge Primus fan. I've got about 3 or 4 like straight up Primus albums left to go to finish off that, and then maybe I'll consider getting like Sausage and things like that, not sure. But I'm almost done my Primus part of the collection. Next, this was the most recent. I had 2 records come in the same package, and this one was a little bit disappointing. I mentioned this on my Wednesday night stream with Rob at Northern Revolutions. I did get Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood, which is amazing, but as you can see with this top corner here, there's a bit of water damage. Got the package in the mail, and as part of it, the corner of the box and everything was just kind of soaked in water. So I don't know. I don't think that this was a seller issue due to my location. I'm not going to try to ask for a refund or anything. The vinyl itself is fine. And of course the inner sleeve got a little bit damaged, but there's no mold damage. dried, all of that kind of thing. And it's just a little bit disappointing when you see the damage. But this is a great album. My favorite Motley Crue album. I mean, Dr. Feelgood, Rattlesnake Shake, Kickstart My Heart, Time for Change, Without You, Same Old Situation. I mean, this is just packed with, as the British would say, packed with bangers or hits. Yeah, it's just too bad that there's a little bit of damage on it. And then in the same package, funny enough, because they were both packaged in plastic and stuff, this one never got damaged. This is the hasn't been released on vinyl in 35 years. This is where I might lose some viewers. You might turn this off right now, but I did get New Kids on the Block. This is the Step by Step album. I'm not gonna lie, back when these guys came out, I couldn't stand them, but for whatever reason, it's just kind of a, just a, I don't know what you call it, just a little bit of an indulgence for me. I think they're hilarious. And I respect the music now. One of the ultimate boy bands from the 80s and the 90s. And for whatever reason, I just think it's hilarious that they did Happy Birthday, or their version of a Happy Birthday song. So, Step by Step, Tonight, Happy Birthday, those were the big songs on here. And I've still got to get the Cover Girl one. Rob from Northern Revolutions, he's just going to be shaking his head on that one. But I think they're great. All right, so those are my online purchases that I got with my gift cards on Amazon. Now, off to my trip to Kingston, Ontario. The first place that I stopped was Brian's Record Option. Anybody that's familiar with it, you'll know that it's like organized chaos in that store. Right, if you have OCD or anything like that, then it's not going to be the store for you. But I think that this place is great. Brian's a great guy. Was able to help me find certain things. I was just going there just to browse with my son. I due to parking meters, I didn't want to be in there too long, so I got like 3 or 4 records. But I was looking for some Gordon Lightfoot, of which I found 2 that I wanted, and then I found a couple of just randoms while I was there. So I did get the Summertime Dream album by Gordon Lightfoot. This thing is amazing. If you're not familiar with Gordon, Canadian folk singer. Most Canadians into the music, you know who Gordon Lightfoot is, singer-songwriter, amazing lyrics. And this is the one that has Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald on it, which was a huge hit in Canada for sure, and I think it went through the United States as well. But just the lyrics on it, the stories that he can tell, this album is absolutely fantastic. So check it out. Gordon Lightfoot, Summertime Dream. I also got Gordon Lightfoot's Cold on the Shoulder album while I was there. And this one has Rainy Day People on it, which was another top 40 hit here in Canada. So once again, same thing. Singer-songwriter, but just really good records. Gordon's got tons and tons of records. I don't think I'll ever be able to be a completist because he's got like 40 or 50 studio albums, but there's still a few that I'm looking for that I would like to get. And so yeah, that's basically what I got for Gordon Lightfoot. And then while I was browsing around, there was just some records that were on for cheap. 1980s music, DeBarge, and this one is Rhythm of the Night, which that was the title track, was one of the big hits. And then of course, Who's Holding Donna Now is the other one that's on here, and you can tell this album just screams 1980s dance / funk, that kind of thing. I don't even know if I would go with funk, but mainly like dance, 1980s style. So DeBarge. And then the last one I got at Brian's Record Option was Atlantic Star. Of course, I've got a soft spot for bands like this. And this is the one that has their their hit song Always on it. Yeah, so once again, I got this for cheap. Kind of fits that mold of, I guess, soft pop, not rock, but soft pop. slow dance music of the 1980s and maybe a little bit of DeBarge style there, R&B soul. Atlantic Star, I've got a few of their albums in my collection. So then on my way back to the north, I was passing through North Bay, Ontario, and I went to, this is the second time I've been to this shop in the past 6 to 7 months, Autumn Records, which I thought had some pretty good deals on. I tend to go to the $5 bins and stuff like that, and it's nice to see that there's stores that still have those, and so I picked up 5 or 6 records while I was there. First one, Showdown, Welcome to the Rodeo. Rob and I from Northern Revolutions and Tim Brownrigg, he doesn't have his own channel, but he's on my Wednesday night stream with us. We've been talking about this. It's just kind of one of those comedy country albums, and as you can see here, it has the rodeo song, and it's recommended for adult content only, which it definitely is. Not a child-friendly album. Definitely some F-bombs on there, but if you haven't heard the rodeo song, give it a go. Rob and I were talking about this, that when we were younger, we always thought that it was just a song that kids invented, but then it turns out that it's actually the real deal. There was actually a recorded version. So Showdown, Welcome to the Rodeo, that was a $5. And then I couldn't help but pick this up. This is just there's a song on here that just pumps me up, gets me going. Clarence Clemens and his Hero album, the sax and all that, but You're a Friend of Mine with Jackson Browne is just a fantastic track. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get this one on vinyl. Back to the 1970s, we've got Michael Murphy and his album Blue Sky, Night Thunder. And this one had, I think he was more of a one-hit wonder. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a song on here called Wildfire, which is about a horse that gets trapped in a barn fire. It's a really depressing, sad song, really, when you think about it, but great kind of country rock. Well, not country rock, but 1970s country. We'll go with that. But yeah, Wildfire was the big hit from this album. And I thought once again, just out of the $5 bin, thought it was worth a shot. And then there was a couple of purchases I made at Autumn Records that were not out of the $5 bin, but I've been wanting these albums for a little while now. Out of Australia, Ice House and Man of Colors album. This is the one they had a couple of big hits on here in North America. Crazy and Electric Blue, which is what I was looking for in this album. Straight out of the 1980s, but really good stuff. Soft rock, rock, pop type music. So if you haven't heard Ice House, give these guys a shot. Great music. I think Lloyd from Mr. Hats has talked about Ice House before, and so they're a great band. And then last but not least, out of Autumn Records, I got Phil Oakes and I Ain't Marching Anymore. This is not an OG pressing to my knowledge. I believe that this is a reissue from like 1976 or something, but definitely into the folk protest music. If you are not familiar with Phil Oakes, read his story. At one point, he was even investigated by the FBI, and tragically, he died young in the 1970s. But he was definitely an anti-Vietnam War type musician, and his singer-songwriter folk style definitely demonstrates that. But I Ain't Marching Anymore. That was what I was going for. As soon as I saw this, it was on for a decent price, and so I went with that. In fact, it still had the shrink on it. It wasn't still sealed, but it had the shrink on it. I took the shrink off because I'm not a huge shrink guy, but very clean copy of that. And then the last two places I went to were thrift stores, Value Village and Talese. I went to those places, and so this is what I got there. I know that in a lot of places down south in the United States, they have started jacking their prices up at these thrift stores, especially Value Village, where records are going for $6, $7, $8.99. I managed to get these ones for $2.99 still, so I was in the cut and narrow on this. So Orleans, this is the self-titled. No, not self-titled. This is Forever. This does not have Still the One on it. That's a different album here. This one didn't have. I don't think it has too many big tracks on it. But for $2, I couldn't help go for this. Not to mention, for some reason, I always think that the lead singer looks like Maynard James Keenan from Tool, but definitely based on the look of the band, this is nothing like Tool. But Love Takes Time, Don't Throw Our Love Away, Keep on Rolling, I Never Wanted to Love You, Everybody Needs Some Music, Slipping Away, The Flame and the Moth, Isn't It Easy, Forever. Orleans, just good old soft rock, soft pop, 1970s, one might even call it yacht rock music. I think they fit that mold as well. Canada, Canadian music. This one here, definitely rough. You could tell that this was in somebody's storage locker for a little while, but once again, there's no mold damage. I'm gonna have to fix the sleeve. But Ocean and Put Your Hand in the Hand, I remember this when I was a kid. One-hit wonder here in Canada. But just once again, just that soft poppy. I'm gonna have to clean it and see how it turns out. But just brings back some nostalgia. My dad used to play this when I was a kid. Ocean, Put Your Hand in the Hand. And then a couple of blind buys. I have no idea who these guys are. 1980s Tom Hewlett and First Impressions album. So this is a blind buy. I haven't listened to it yet. Based on what I am reading, it's electronic piano, maybe a little bit of jazzy type music, soft pop. And based on the fact that there is a song that is based on a song for Canada, I am assuming he is a Canadian musician. So let me know down in the comments section below if you've got this far into the video, if you've heard of Tom Hewlett and what his music is. And then other blind buy, Mark Jordan, Mannequin. I'm familiar with Mark Jordan. He had a song in the late 80s, early 90s called Waiting for a Miracle. Not the one that, Bruce Coburn does, but I am familiar with him. So he's more of a soft pop kind of guy. This is his album Mannequin. To my understanding, there was no major hits on it, and I'd seen like 3 or 4 copies of this at different stores. So I for $2, gonna take a chance on it and go from there. And then the last album for this video I found at Talese for $2. I remember this one. My grandpa used to play this. My dad, Judd Strunk, Daisy a Day. This is kind of like country soft music. But the title track, Daisy a Day, was a hit here in North America. So once again, kind of a blind buy other than that, but I remember that track. And so gonna give that one a shot as well. So there we go, nearing on 20 minutes here for this video. Let me know your thoughts about my new and used pickups that I've got in the last, say, 6 months on this trip. And until next time, take care, everyone, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this. See you on the flip side. Cheers now.